Welcome back to KonoSuba Animated Review, episode number 2. This one reviewing episodes 7 through 10 of the series and the first OVA. Episodes 7 through 10 adapt from Book 2, though not entirely per se. There's actually one episode of Season 2 also adapted from Book 2 as well, for some strange reason. I have no idea why. It just does. Yep. What happens in these episodes? Well, it's wintertime, so they need money, they need a place to live, so, well, they need to get some money to earn it, so they try to catch these snow pixels. I'm not kidding about this. Basically catching sentient snowballs, while killing them and earning I think it was 100,000 per. And then they come across the Winter Shogun. In the light novel, they refer to this guy as Jack Frost. Why the heck they changed his name in the dub to Winter Shogun, I have no idea. I mean, it's Jack Frost, not the Winter Shogun. Well, blame the dubbers for that. They probably thought, oh, Jack Frost. They probably think, oh, maybe that's too on the nose. That or probably the reason why someone must own the trademark on Jack Frost for fictional characters. It's possible, but when I think of a character who's mythological and known for bringing a lot of snow, I think of Jack frickin' Frost. Oh yeah, he kills Kasumi by beheading him. And then he wakes up in the same place he did back in the pilot episode with Eris, who was taking over Aqua's job. And says, oh yeah, reincarnated back into a rich family. Aqua's like, nope, I overrule you, I'm bringing him back. And basically, I thought this was kind of, okay, you might think this is quite hilarious. Okay, she basically threatened to expose the fact that she wears padded bras. Yep, so, wakes up, and of course they had at least all but a couple of them, so, kind of refrigerated stuff, and that's pretty much it what happens in these episodes. Yep, I had to have one episode. Now, in the 8th episode, they actually get the house that they live in. Yes, they get a house. How? Pure and simple. This is where they use the character of Wits, who is voiced by Brittany Knickerbocker. I am not kidding about that. Yep, that is seriously her name. Yeah, apparently the character's been there before, and, well, basically, her thing was about exorcising ghosts from a graveyard. And there's something revealed about the house they get. Like, okay, the deal is this. They get to exorcise all the spirits from this mansion. In exchange, you get to keep the house. And Kazumi's like, cool, let's just do it. Let's have Aqua do all the exercising. Okay. And apparently this place has got an actual beds. They also have some rooms, not simply in a stable. And apparently it has a chessboard. Great place to live. I can tell. It kind of looks like a 19th century mansion. And I'm surprised no one points this out to me. The way this style looks, it looks like a plantation house. I am not kidding about it. It seriously looks like a plantation house. Though apparently no one points that out, though, despite the fact it looks like a plantation house, but it has a Japanese-style bathroom, because of course it does. The only reason why it does is because it's made by Japan, so have a Japanese bathroom instead of having, I don't know, an American bath, because when I think of a house I think of a southern plantation house, the way this house looks. And then it becomes sort of a poltergeist when the spirits decide possessing dolls. Yep, running around the place, shits around with dolls, of course, somebody goes visit Aqua, and it runs the Mega Mine. Yep, and it turns out she was hiding there looking for Aqua. Where Aqua was, could be anything. And they run around the house. Heck, at one point, she runs around because she had to use the bathroom. And then basically, Kasumi just drags her when she's half naked. I'm like, dude, couldn't you let her at least put her panties back on? Nope, had to wear on button it half naked. This was you really need to use the bathroom. Yeah, that was thinking about this. Yeah, and then eventually all the ghosts are exorcised, and it turns out that the reason why they're possessing this house was because someone put a barrier around the cemetery. That's not a joke. Yes. Now, she apparently, well, was doing her normal job until she was stopped by Aqua, who thinks, oh, don't take over the job. She apparently found it tiring, so just basically a barrier. So, yeah, that's the reason why that they're possessing the house. And, well, yep. Now, here's the thing about Wits and Aqua. Aqua loves to abuse her, basically, by like hurting her and basically treating her like a slave. Yeah. And of course, well, several times when they go to her shop, of course, Katsumi has to bop her on the head to get her to stop what she's doing, like he does with her with his sword, he does with his hand. He's bopping on her head. Yep. And well, of course, she's also a witch, and it's also revealed she's one of the Demon King generals. Yep. Though her job is simply this: protect the barrier. That's it. That's her only job, is to protect the barrier around this castle. And of course, now Aqua, when she hears about this, she really wants to kill her. And of course, Kasumi's like, no, probably shouldn't kill her, because she's not out doing the stuff that these Demon King, these generals do. She's just a protector of the barrier. That's it. I'm like, that's a pretty simple job. She's basically very minor at best. Despite that she is one of the generals, she's barely noticeable. Also, Veneer is brought up here. Yeah, and apparently she doesn't hold a grudge for killing him because the man was a pervert. And he kept throwing his head around when he looked under her skirt a lot. Because he wanted to. Well, that's Patrick Stoltz for you. Voicing a basically a zombie who's a pervert. Yeah, it turns out that Wits is also a leech. Now, at first, it's a leech. You mean a person who's a skeleton? Nope, she's a normal human who just happens to be undead. Yep. Now, pretty much they mentioned this about this fortress, go scout for this thing, but they decided to turn it down because it was not worth their time. And then the fortress shows up in the final episode of the season. And this fortress is a giant mechanical spider, where it looks like it was made with steampunk technology. And I'm surprised Katsumi didn't recognize the technology of this thing. But yeah, it's made with some technology by using this area. But yeah, this is made by steampunk. Yep. Oh, and the creator of this thing, apparently he died. The thing was launched. And it's via a journal they found when they go inside of the damn thing. Excuse me, this is how they get to stop moving. Yeah, thanks to the combined of basically have Aqua just taking the barrier and having Whis and Megami just basically use explosion magic on it. It doesn't bring it down, but it doesn't stop it. Though it was going to self-destruct, so they had to find a way to shut it down. They go inside and it reveals though that the creator apparently forgot to put an off switch in this damn thing. And when it turning on, the first thing the spider did was to destroy the kingdom of the creator. Yep, that was the thing's pretty much. Yeah, so we have an evil robot in our hands. So they transport the core of this thing to some random location. Where it actually ended up does lead to stuff that happened in season 2 of the show, which I'll read about when I get a chance to read book 3. Yep, and then of course we have the thing just look like it's with overheat, but lucky enough there's basically Megamind gets some magic thanks to Aqua, well thanks to transfer magic. Oh, and also the way that, oh yeah, and person who transported the thing out of there was Whis, who had to suck some energy out of Katsumi, which he thought though he was going to kiss her. Nope, use her hands. Yep, so yeah, and she tried to use the same power on her, but apparently if you use her powers on Wits, it could just be like, okay, how about use on Megamind? Which, that is a good idea. Use on her. Oh yeah, and also what's Darkness up to? Oh, I'll get to her. There's just something strange involving her in episode 9. I'll get to that. So, they destroy the thing, and then the episode, took the reward from the kingdom, and it turns out he's being arrested for treason. Yep. Of course, that leads into season 2, which I'll get to that when I get to book 3. Now, there's one thing I gotta mention this. Okay, there's an episode involving Succubus. Yep. basically Katsumi is kind of coerced to go to a joint where it's run by succubus, and have a dream sequence following succubi, and he signs up for the sequence, and apparently, like, oh yeah, the image he probably chose is one of his companions, which one I'll get to that in a minute. So basically, he's tired, can't wait for it, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna take a bath, and then, and then darkness just comes right in, and he knows, so man, she's got a rocking body, and apparently telling her to wash his back. Yeah, kind of an odd thing. And of course, well, in episode 10 is revealed her real name, which is Lathenia, which he tries calling her that. He says, call me that again, I'll kill you. Yep. Yeah, and turns out, oh yeah, the fact that, well, of course they call it succubus, and of course they let her go. And of course Katsumi does not try, and of course he tried to remember, oh yeah, like, you walked in on me. So basically what happened was your fault. And you turn out the lights, so if I can put like a sign up. Yeah, but he doesn't tell her anything about, he doesn't tell her that she has got a rockin' body. Nope, doesn't bring it up at all. Yep. And that's the season for you, but what about the OVA? The OVA involves a choker, basically the characters, plus a character who is a supplicant rival, a Megamind. Her name is, I believe it is YN. Mm-hmm. Yep. Which apparently they mentioned they happened before, which that's not happened yet. That probably happened in season 3. Season 2. Mm-hmm. Yep. And apparently she was going to Witch's shop every day just to run into her. And of course, well, she looks like a Megamind, but the biggest difference between two of them is that she's got a bigger chest than Megamind does. Also, she's taller than she is. And she's like, oh yeah, my self-proclaimed rival. I was like, I am your rival. And she just happened to pick up this random choker. And then, of course, Katsumi, like an idiot, puts it on. And apparently everyone has to do what he says while he has no one tries to strangle him. So what does he have them do? He has Aqua go every day to get these random items. Has Wits be his lap pillow. Darkness doing exercises. Well, first push-ups, then sit-ups, and then squats. And then eventually, like, one day she has her basically bathe herself right in front of him. And what's Megamind Neri to do? Well, play strip, rock, paper, scissors. Yep. That was one of their 2 tasks. The other one was basically washing him. Of course, Megamind also had to wash his groin. Because, of course, she had to. And yeah, of course, he reveals stuff basically, like, he reveals darkness. Like, when he sees her, he sees boobs. Okay. This is basically his lines, not mine. That's what he says. And eventually the collar does come off. And then eventually kind of hints at they kind of killed him off screen. And he's like, oh crap, I died again. This is, of course, for the 3rd time. He's like, don't die again. He's like, huh. Yeah. Yeah, in case you're wondering, does he use the steel thing this one? This one? No, he doesn't. Does he use the steel ability in episode 7 through 10? Actually, no, he doesn't. He doesn't use that ability at all. Nope, not really, no. But yeah, not much else to say about these episodes. They're actually pretty good. I kind of enjoyed it. Yes, I have. Now, as of this episode, prior to watching it, I did last night, after finishing episode 6, decided to start reading the manga. I'm only about 16 chapters into the manga. That was from the light novels, but I'll probably catch up with it today. And of course, I will read, books 3 and 4 before I start season 2. Yep, now my next video, of course, that's it for this particular video. My next video is a review of the newest chapters for Fire Force. And yeah, I'm so happy with this, but I'm hoping it's there because they said last night that yes, the dub is resuming for My Hero Academia. I am so happy with this. This is utterly fantastic. I just found this a complete random last night. We'll look at YouTube, and all of a sudden they have a blog post like, oh yeah, the dub is resuming, and I will get to more about that when I talk about how they did this episode, despite the whole stuff going on right now. I'll talk about that when I talk about the newest episode of the anime, okay? But see you next video. Bye.